Okay. So what characterizes this kind of family, it's manipulation and control, but it will be tagged discipline in a very subtle way. It's being tagged discipline, but no, it's not discipline. You are being manipulated. And of course, neglect is there, where the right attention and affection you're supposed to have growing up as a child is not there. So you experience neglect. And we have emotional abuse, physical abuse, verbal, and sexual abuse. These are some of the characteristics that tells that yes, something has happened to you. This is where we see people, you can be 80 years old, 50 years old, but you are still stuck in that event that happened to you while you were 3 years or 2 years old. For instance, you saw your parents fighting, such memory, it's really hard to just do away with. And if you're not careful, you may want to transfer that into your own relationship. So these are the truths we're here to unveil. And of course, that characteristics addiction, it could be drug addiction, gambling, pornography, and the like. So you're just addicted to this particular thing, and it can also impact on your growth. We talked about parentification. Yes, this is the part where you are the fixer of the home. You fix both especially if you are the eldest child, your parents, in terms of capacity, they don't have the capacity to care for the home. So when we say you are parentifying, does not mean sometimes your parents may not meet up to their own responsibility, either due to ignorance, or it could even be health challenge. Your parent is challenged with their health, and in that way, you see yourself doing a whole lot of things, even as a child. The responsibility is much. And such a child will grow up missing childhood. The person just feel there were things I was supposed to do as a child that I didn't do. So it can really be a very big burden on children. I will talk about comparison and favoritism. Yes, these are the characteristics that happen in a traumatic home where everybody just know that this is daddy's favorite. This is mommy's favorite. It ought not to be. And because when the children grow up in such setting, there is bound to be siblings rivalry. It becomes the order of the day. So these are things we should look out for. And we'll talk about secrecy, denial, or shame. When they tell you, don't talk about this. In our family, we don't discuss things out. So we've seen cases where people are actually molested, they are being abused sexually and all form of abuse, but one of the parents may be aware, but because you're trying to protect something, you kind of feel, let me know, let's not say it out. And in that way, that child is being traumatized. Number one, the child does not feel protected. The child feel my parents who are supposed to protect me, they are hiding this thing. Maybe it's the cousin or whatever. You just feel, why you, why is anybody not actually speaking up for me? All in the name of let's protect the image of the family. It can really be a thing. And of course, there is lack of boundary and respect. Lack of boundary and respect is also some of the characteristics. Um, Next is this on the cost on the course of on the courses we talked about unresolved childhood trauma. We talked about poor communication, substance abuse. Mental illness can be a cause, and we see the effects. Yes, so we say some of the effects you have. We have identity crisis, low self-esteem, poor conflict resolution skills. People pleasing. Yes, so you want to please everybody at all costs. It's an effect from the trauma of your past. Or you don't even know your identity. You lack self-confidence. You don't you don't believe in yourself. You just feel even before I started, I've already failed. And this is where we see that Even this child can be a trophy child. Even at school, the child can be a very sound child, but when it comes to facing life issues, the child may not excel because something has tampered with the child's self-worth. And of course, we see poor conflict resolution becoming the order of the day in such family, because you saw these things, and either there are subtle ways it impacts on the way we live. So you end up having poor communication resolution. You don't know how best to express yourself than just anger. You feel the best way you can express how you feel is anger. You don't know how to name your emotions. You don't know how to tell how you feel. The best way you just have to feel, express it is anger. That was what you saw. So it's a poor communication, conflict resolution skills. And these things are the effects. This is how it's the ripple effect we have from such traumatic background. Of course, fear of abandonment and rejection is another thing. So this case, I described it yesterday, where in a setting where you are married, but you are just afraid that someday, I'm just afraid that my spouse will just leave me someday. You're just afraid that your spouse will just come to the house, carry his bag and say he's not getting married again. Please, if you are, please, can you mute, please? Can you mute? Yeah, thank you. So that fear, so this is where you see, especially for ladies, the ladies fall victim of this more often. They will ask, do you love me? The guy will say yes. Do you really love me? Yes. Do you really, really love me? When a lady is speaking like that, don't be angry to say, come, what? How can I prove to you that I love you? Don't you know that I love you? No, don't be fast. Know that yes, there's something speaking, which is trauma. This lady has been traumatized. So there is an insecurity inside. Possibly okay, let me give an instance now. Let's say this girl you want to get married, or the girl you are married to now, was happened to be a child that was given birth to out of wedlock, or maybe this kind of teenage pregnancy, and the boy rejected the pregnancy or he denied the pregnancy. So that kind of child, we grow up feeling so insecure, feeling like somebody is going to deny me someday. He's going to say he does not need me someday. Those kind of things. So that's what results to that rejection, that fear of rejection. And another way it also presents itself is, the women are also victim of this, where you check your husband's phones. You keep checking, you want to see, is there anybody? Sometimes it can really bore the men, like, what is all this? I will want to appeal that if you as a man, you notice this in your wife, don't be quick to say to assume she's not, she's been problematic, or she's been troublesome. No, there's something that happened to her in the past. Maybe she saw as she saw, maybe she saw a situation where the father had a sexual infidelity outside of marriage, had a relationship outside marriage. And the popular thing that is now reigning now is emotional infidelity, where it's not even sex, but this child will stay at home, hear one parent discussing deep things, deep intimate matter with another person. And of course, the child know that this is not my mommy, neither is it my daddy she's talking to. So in that sense, you have killed something in the child, that insecurity tends to set in. So the person just feel, this is where they now start to ask, do you love me? Do you really, really love me? Do you really, 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 really love me? So when you see it like that, please don't be angry. Just know that, yes, this is not you speaking. This is trauma speaking. Yes. So it keeps our relationship in a very good state when we know the why. There's a book that says why you act the way you do. It's good to know. Yes, I know. Oh, now I know why this person is behaving like this. It just keeps you at it. And this thing we're saying, it's not just, it cuts across marriage, it cuts across your parenting styles, even your relationship with your colleagues and The world is broad. So if you can understand why people act the way they do, yes, you will know. You will know that yes, it's not just this. So you now learn what it helps you do is you learn to separate the person from the problem. Yes. So I give an instance. When Peter told Jesus, when Jesus announced his death, and Peter said, Master, you're not going to die. You, no, you are not leaving us. So Jesus knew the reason why he came. He knew that it is for this reason that I came. And he understood that it is not Peter that was speaking. He knew that there is a spirit behind to speak discouragement to him. And what did Jesus do? He addressed the spirit behind. He told Peter, this was the same Peter that Jesus said, upon this rock I will build my church, the gates of hell will not prevail. You are Peter. You know all the promises. I have given you the key of the kingdom. Whatever you permit is permitted, whatever you allow is allowed. The same Peter. But at another instance, Jesus was able to decipher and know that no, this is not Peter speaking. This is not Peter speaking. This is not the Peter that I know. And Jesus had to tell him, he said, Satan, get thee behind me. Yes, so Jesus was able to separate Peter from the spirits behind, you know. So we find out that in our relationship, we don't know how to, you just see your spouse as the problem. Like most of us end up regretting, why did I even marry this person? You know, you now wish, oh, you just tell yourself, I made a very wrong choice. And you know how the devil can. The devil can help you amplify those feelings and those thoughts. It will magnify it in many ways in your heart. So you just feel, I made a great mistake. No. So it's because you've not been able to separate this person. First of all, think of that love. Eh? That time where things were really very sweet, you were feeling the butterflies in your tummy. You know, think about it. And now see this other person. So what we're doing here is we're exposing you to know that, yes, that's grown-up adults you have at home can be stuck. It can still be a child in certain behavior in terms of what happened in the past. So, like I gave an instance that something that happened to you 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you can be stuck there, yet you are 50 years old. You are there, you've been stuck in your past. Please, if you have any comments as I'm talking, you can drop your comments. It's going to be as interactive as possible. I'm not the alpha and the omega of this, so please just be dropping it on the comment section. I can see your comments, so just keep dropping it. So negative cycle, that's another effect. So you see the cycle coming over and over and over. So you inherited that from your parents. Now you are displaying that to your children. Your children will grow up, get married, and it just keep going on and on and on. So these are the things we are here to unveil. And of course, we talked about limiting belief. So limiting belief is, now, this is what they have told me. You know, this is what they told me. Oh, because of that setting, they have told me I am this, and you now believed it. For instance, they have told you you are not good enough. Oh, you are not good enough. That is a limiting belief. Or they've told you love has to be earned. You have to do something to earn love. In that way, you want to impress. You want to show that I am good, or I am not this bad person you are looking at. So, you just want to impress everybody. You want to be perfect to everybody. So that is trauma in itself. You don't have to earn love, you know. Another way is the feelings, your feelings does not matter. So in this way, it comes in a sense where, for instance, a child is crying and we tend to silence the child. You keep telling that child, stop crying. You cry too much. You cry too much. You don't bother to ask, why are you crying? Or you don't bother to teach the child better other ways of expressing their emotions. You just keep shutting down that child. That child will grow up feeling my feelings don't matter. This is where you can be in a meeting and they are asking questions. Something you're supposed to air your view. You're supposed to say something. You're supposed to contribute. Something just tell you, that's childhood experience tell you, whatever I will say does not matter. So let me just keep quiet. You know, so this is how it affects us. Even in our work life, you are just quiet. You're just sometimes it can really be very boring to people. Some people don't understand. In this kind of place where everybody is talking, everybody is interacting, you are not speaking up. So people will not understand that, yes, you were being silenced as a child. They keep telling you, stay there, you cry too much, you are too emotional, So that is where it's coming from. And of course, we see another way it plays out is another feeling is you tend to be there's this defense mechanism that comes to play in the sense that you feel, let me not let people in. If I let them in, they will leave me or they will hurt me. Yes, so you now create a barrier because possibly you've seen how it has affected your parents, or something happened in the past, or you've been hurt in the past, and you just put that barrier and say, no, I won't let anybody in. And this is where you see, I believe most of us we've encountered that, especially in the university where you have some lecturers. Hey, when they come to the class, it's as if everybody just takes shape. Or even in our home, you see your father is coming and everybody is, hey, everybody is running letter scatter. I don't know if you can relate. If you can relate, please drop a comment on the session. Drop your comments there. So we see where your father is coming, everybody is taking shape. Everybody, that man may not really be difficult. That lecturer is not really a difficult person. Most times, if you want to get to know this man, check the man out personally in his office. Check that lecturer in his office. You will see the way we respond to you. He will be so nice and you'll be wondering, what's the difference? In the class, you were looking so terrible, but now you are free. Or you check that man out when he's with his friends or with his colleagues, or when he's at home with his family. You will like, you can't even balance it. Yes, this person has been traumatized. You just feel, I will not let people in so they will not hurt me. That is trauma speaking. So another way it also affects us is being vulnerable is dangerous. So we just feel, no, I'm not going to be vulnerable. I'm not going to tell my weakness. I'm not going to say what is happening to me. People will take advantage of me. That could be trauma. It could be what you have seen and something tells you, I'm not going to be vulnerable. Another way it plays out also is, I must be strong at all times. So this is the fixer. I talked about the parentification, the one that's always want to parent, the one that parents the parents, yes. You find yourself, you were the one, you can just record that from beginning to end, financially, in fact, emotionally, or in every way, you were the one that parented your parents. You are the fixer. Something when you grow up, something tells you, I must be strong at all time. Even when you are breaking down, even when you are not feeling your best, you still feel, I must be strong. I must be strong. And sometimes the way it plays out is, even when you are something happened that you are supposed to cry, there's a nice way to cry. There's a nice way to express. There's a way when you cry, there's a way it eases the emotions. It makes it, even Jesus wept now. If cry is that bad, Jesus wouldn't have wept. So Jesus himself wept. So you something happened, and maybe they've always told you, you cry, men don't cry, or you cry too much. So something that just, when you grow up, you just feel, I must be strong, I must be dead, nobody must see my tear. But inside, you are dying slowly. You are dying slowly. So it can be a limiting belief. Another one is, I have to fix everyone or save everyone. That's the fixer. Then is the next one is, all the families are like this. This is a setting where you grow up in an area where it looks as if dysfunctionality is just the order of the day. You can just see this family, this one, they're always fighting. This one, the children, they don't go to school. This one, teenage pregnancy is the order of the day. This one, sexual immorality. This one, addiction. If you are not careful, if you don't intentionally program your mind, you will feel all families are the same. So even in your own family, you will not even bother to want to work on it because you just feel, is just the same. That's just how it is everywhere. So we should look out for this. Another way it plays out, another belief it brings is, I will never break free from my past. Something just tells you, hmm, my past is just the way it is. It's all messed up. Nothing can come out from it. I can't, no, no, no. This is how it happens in my family. This is just how it runs. So, some people will say, I bet just leave you. Anger runs in my family. How now? Doesn't run in your family. Trauma has taught you that it runs in your family. So, what are the negative labels? So, this is what people call you now. The limiting belief is what you have told yourself that I think I'm just like this. But negative label is what people call you that you not accept. That, oh, okay, I'm like this. For instance, they say you are the black sheep. You are the one that is always different. You are the one that is always misunderstood. You are the rebellious child. In fact, some people even go to the extent of saying you are the prodigal child. You know, that word can really go far in a child's mind to feel, oh, I'm the black sheep. So in everything, you just feel every accusation that comes to you, you just tend to accept it, to feel, yes, even if it can even affect you in the sense that even things you did not do, you can just say, okay, let me just say I did it. After all, I'm the black sheep. Let me just say I did it. After all, I'm the black sheep. No, something has happened to you. That's a negative label. You need to delete it. It's not yours. You're not the black sheep. Then another way it plays out is when you say you are the stupid one. You are not smart. You are too slow. You are too lazy. You don't know how far that word gets to a child. That even when the child grows up, he just feel, I bet let me not just start. Have you seen people that they don't even have the strength to start their own business? They just feel, I beg, I can't do it. Oh, I'm too slow. I can't do all these things that they are doing. Oh, So it kind of have impact in the success of the child's life in the future. And of course, when they tell you you are too emotional or you are a mistake, you are the unwanted child. Yes. So we see this in family where possibly teenage pregnancy, like I said, the young boy, because of fear, we just maybe reject the pregnancy, and you give birth to that child. Possibly you didn't get all the support you were supposed to get. And of course, we know in Africa how parents will just, you are gone, nothing good can come out from you again. So that feeling makes you look at your child and you always feel you're a mistake. I don't know why I gave birth to you. And you will not know when you will say it one day. The way you will treat the child, the way you will push the child can almost tell that I'm not needed. Nobody needs me. Nobody needs me. It's really it's traumatic. Everybody wants to feel loved and accepted, especially children, because they didn't beg you to bring them to the world now. We can only have You can only have parents that made mistake, but these children, they didn't make mistake. So you don't have to transfer your mistake to your children, making them feel as if they are mistake. So another way it plays out is out of ignorance. We see these days you are expecting a particular sex of child, maybe you're expecting the female child or the male child, and the opposite came, and you're just like, I don't want this child. You cannot hide it. You don't have to tell the child. There's a way you just put it on the child one day. The frustration will come. You may tend to want to pretend, but one day you don't know when you will just release it and tell the child, you are a mistake. After all, I didn't even plan for you. That child, you have traumatized that child. Something has happened. So it could be a label that you grew up with to think, I'm a mistake. Then, of course, we have the troublemaker. We always tag them the troublemaker, the dramatic queen. You're always acting. You're always acting. It is the child's personality. No two children are the same, even from the same parents. No two children. Everybody have their unique personality. This one can just be this quiet child. This one can be this boom boom happening child, that kind of thing. So in that way, you don't have to label the child and say you make trouble too much. If you hear those words consistently, there's a label already that makes you feel I make trouble too much. And of course, you are a failure. You are invisible. Like your father. You are like your father. When they say you are like your father, if a parent is telling you you are like the other parents, know that it's not for good. It's usually for the wrong, for the negative display. So it's usually for the negative. You are like your father. You are like your mother. You know. So especially for in broken homes or especially in broken homes where each party is trying to claim the child. Everybody wants to act as if they are the good ones. This one wants to say, I was the one that took care of you. Don't mind your father or your mother. That kind of setting, you are demoralizing the child. You are demoralized. You may think you're just trying to protect the child, but you are demoralizing the child. So these are some of the way it plays out in our lives. So I believe you can hear me, you can still hear me, you can see me clearly. Please put on the comment section so I know I'm not talking to myself. Are we there? Yeah. Hello? Hmm. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Drop on the comment section. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you so much. So, all right, let's shoot very quickly. So today we'll be looking at how to unburden the pain. So we've listed the things that have caused you pain. Yes, thank you so much. You can see me, you can hear me. Thank you. So now we've seen how this thing has affected us, and most of us are not happy. It's the worst thing that can ever happen to you is to grow up not being a happy adult. It's terrible, especially when you can't turn back the hands of time to really do some of the things you thought you would have done or that would have happened to you. It can be very traumatic. So, but now we need to unburden it. You can't just die that way, you know. The Bible made mention that a living dog is better than a dead lion. So the fact that that thing did not kill you, that situation did not kill you, it shows that there's still hope. There's still hope. Something can still be done. So don't take it easy on yourself. You can unburden that pain. You can drop it down without pouring it on someone, without pouring it on your children. For instance, we talked about Jabez. The mother was in pain, the frustration, everything. Maybe the father was not there. She was the one doing everything, or financially things were not balanced, or the pain could be physical pain, could be health. The mother did not know when you just gave the child. You are Jabez. What's the meaning of Jabez? Sorrow. How can you just give birth to a child and you call the child sorrow? So, but this child Jabez, he grew up to a stage where he said, no, I'm not going to accept this. I'm going to drop it. And he called on God. He said, oh God, that you will enlarge my coast, that you will bless me. I'm not going to be a sorrow anymore. I'm going to be a blessing to my generation. I'm not going to cause sorrow. So you can actually unburden this pain without transferring it to your spouse, without transferring it to your children, without transferring it to your colleagues. So we are here to discover the various ways we can unburden. Just calm down. We're coming down. It is possible. We can walk this journey together. So one way is acknowledge the pain. Don't live in self-denial. When we talked about dysfunctional family, people are quick to say, me, I'm not from that. I didn't come from a dysfunctional family. If I don't tag me that name, nothing happened to me. Are you sure nothing really happened to you? Look very well. Think intently. Are you sure nothing happened to you? Even in the so-called perfect family life, somehow, somewhere, something happened to you. So don't live in self-denial. Acknowledge that, yes, there is a pain I feel inside. I feel there is a gap somewhere. I feel something ought to have happened that did not happen. So when we say trauma, it's not just the one that happened to you. What about the thing that was supposed to happen to you but did not happen? For instance, um, there are certain skills or opportunity you were supposed to grow into as a child, but because your parents don't have it, they didn't give it to you. So that in itself is traumatic. So trauma is not just what happened to me. It is what did not happen. It could also be what was supposed to happen to me that did not happen to me. So trauma is not really about what happened to you. So you should sit back and say, okay, let me now analyze this situation. This is what happened to me. You acknowledge that there is a pain because you cannot heal what you refuse to feel. If you think I'm not feeling it, nothing happened to me. I'm not. I didn't come from a dysfunctional background. Nothing happened to me. You are just living in self-denial. Unacknowledged pain does not disappear. It deepens the wound. So when you don't acknowledge it, you can't be healed. You know, the Bible says, confess your sin and you will be healed. So you need to say it, you need to talk about it. So acknowledge it. And one of the way they usually shut people down from speaking is when they tell you, don't talk about our family issues outside. In such a way, you will not express, you don't want to acknowledge something has happened to you, or stop exaggerating. It wasn't that bad. How can you silence the way I feel? The way I feel is the way I feel, you know? So you don't silence the way, you don't shut the person down to say, don't talk about it. It's just, you are exaggerating. It's not that bad. But that is how I feel, you know? Or another way it could be, they will say, be grateful. Even other people had worse one. Their own was bad. Their own was worse than yours. Oh, fine, but something happened to me. So you must acknowledge it. Strong people don't talk about their past. It's just a myth that you need to acknowledge that yes, something happened that I need to correct. Healing begins when we are honest with what happened to us. You are honest to say, I don't think something is right here. I think, and that's the only way you can change it. Yes, that's the only way you can. So we'll talk about acknowledge the pain. For instance, we see in the life of Joseph. Joseph had pain. He experienced pain based on what the brothers did to him. And he could not hide it. Even when the brothers came, the Bible says he went to a particular place because he does not want them to know. He said he cried, he wept. That is, he's trying to tell himself that this thing is painful. It hurts. How can my own, reject me? You know, but if he had to face it, he has to forgive them and he has to reframe the story through the lens of God's eyes. So it is that way that we can be healed. So we've talked about now that we have to acknowledge the pain, acknowledge it. Yes, it's just like the salvation work. Now, for you to become a Christian, you have to be a believer. I said the first thing is acknowledge you are a sinner, believe Jesus died for you, then confess Jesus as your Lord. That's the ABC. So acknowledgement is very important, or else you just see yourself living in self-denial. Another way is release guilt and shame. So we find out that most times people are feeling guilty of their past. You've not even forgiven yourself. How can you forgive others that contributed to that situation? So you must come to the point where you say, I knew I made mistake, but I need to release forgiveness to myself for this thing that I did. So we find out that most times we out of ignorance, nobody told you. You find that you made silly mistakes. Even Apostle Paul said, when I was a child, I thought like a child. I acted like a child. So it's not, you're not alone. There's a childish be. So when we say like a child, does not mean like a little child. Yes, the things nobody taught you, you can't really know them. So in that way, you can make costly mistake. That is why embracing the life of God is very, very important, especially at an early age. God will supply to you even what your parents cannot give to you. That's for me. It's my testimony. If so, for you to say, "Ah, nobody told me," you can't be stuck there. Go and embrace God. He will give you the wisdom that even nobody could give to you. So you now made silly mistakes in the past, and you find it difficult to forgive yourself. And the devil can help you magnify this. He tell you it is all your fault. But really, it's if you check all the situations surrounding it, it couldn't really be all your faults. You were born into it, but you can't stay there, right? So you really can't remain there. So you need to release forgiveness to yourself. That guilt, that shame you feel, you need to release it. In Romans chapter 8, verse 1, the Bible says, "There is therefore now no condemnation to them who are in Christ Jesus." You are not condemned. So the woman, the adulterous woman, what did Jesus tell her? Jesus told her that, "Where are your accusers?" He said, "They are no more, they can't be found." He said, "Yes." He said, "Neither have I accused you, neither have I condemned you." He said, "But go and sin no more." Just go and sin no more. That's the criteria. So when God has forgiven you, you must forgive yourself. So stop that guilt, stop that shame, that thing you did, or maybe out of ignorance, we can really do a lot. Some persons, they even go as far as committing abortion, different things, different vices, smoking, drinking, all the different vices. And now you are now a new creation. Now you know better. You have to forgive yourself. You don't have to live in that guilt anymore. If it takes you writing a letter to yourself and say, "Ah, I'm writing to myself. I have forgiven myself," do it. Yes, please. That's an assignment. Write a letter to yourself. Say, "Ah, this past wrong that I've done, I have actually forgiven myself. I'm not going to do it anymore. You know, thank you, God, for forgiving me. I have." So you must release forgiveness, or else the devil will keep you stuck. The devil, one of his titles is the accuser of brethren. He will always keep accusing you. He will always bring your mistake and your guilt before you. So you must release forgiveness to yourself. Yes, very important. The Bible says, "Who the Son of God has set free is free indeed." If Christ has set you free, please be free. So another way you can come out from this, or you can unburden the the trauma of the past or the impact of family trauma on you, is you talk about it in a safe space. Like we said, people are being stopped to say, "Don't talk about it." Oh, how can you say, how can you be exposing the secrets of the family? How can you? But you don't know how your testimony brings healing to others. You really can't tell how your testimony will release others that are in the same captivity. You can set them free. The Bible says we overcame them by the blood of the Lamb and by the words of our testimony. I tell people, one thing you can't take from me, it's my experience. You can take anything from me, but my experience is what makes me me. So you can't silence me not to talk. So, but the main thing is look for a safe space where you can confide in someone to talk about it. Silence breeds shame. There's a popular saying that sin hides in secrecy. When you are hiding it, you are hiding it. It's growing now, So you need to speak up. You need to speak up. You need to tell someone. You need to tell someone. Just look for someone to tell. Don't die in silence. Yes, shame dies when stories are told in a safe place. Ah, what is the worst that can happen? Say it. What's the worst that can happen? And immediately you say, you see that release. You will just be free. You just be free. So talk about it. Look for a safe space. But that's the clause there, a safe space. And you must be telling the right person at the right time. So, because that's another thing, another attribute we all must try to imbibe. Can somebody actually confide in you? Can somebody leave information with you and it will be safe? So we must make ourselves a safe place where people can also come and share their body and share their pain without feeling guilty, without feeling being judged. So we must make ourselves of that. We must build such character. So you need to identify a safe place. This could be a Christian gathering, a counselor, a support group, a close friend, a church mentor. It could just be anywhere, but look for someone. Don't, it's too much for you to bear. Sometimes the way it even works for me is as I'm speaking, as I'm even telling you, I've not even finished telling you. Boom, I will just get an idea. A solution will just come. Do it like this. But the fact that I said it, there's a solution. So speak it. Speak up. A popular saying says, a problem shared is a problem half solved, even though we didn't solve everything, but at least it's half solved because you have released it. You are venting it out. So you look for that, you identify a safe place that you can share it, then start with how you feel. Tell them how you feel about that particular situation. If it's even doing you like, hey, the way I feel like killing this person that just did this thing to me, say it. That's the only way you can get help, instead of you keeping it to yourself. For instance, the the guy that's in the Bible that they slept with their his sister, he kept it to himself. David's son, he kept it to himself, and the thing grew so much that he had to kill his brother. That was because he kept it to himself. So if you are feeling like I feel like killing this person, look for somebody to tell. That is the only way you can get help. Oh, calm down. Is he up to this? The person cannot help you validate your feelings. Yes, I understand how you feel, but calm down. So we must look for a safe place to talk about how we truly, truly feel without uh, trying to package it or make the story look sweet. So tell your story to someone in a safe place. So the next thing to do is you now start setting boundaries. Yes, you have to set boundaries. So boundary is not a wall. Eh? So when we say boundaries, the one I mentioned earlier where you just say, I'm not allowing anybody in because they will hurt me. No, that's not the type I'm talking about. Boundary is not a wall. It's a gate that protects your garden. It's a gate that protects your peace. So the idea with boundary is, why do you keep staying in an environment where they keep talking you down? They keep you are in a place where the only thing you hear is negative words. You don't have to stay there. So you need to put a boundary to such communication. So boundary is just the way you protect your peace. Not it's not a it's not a it must not come like an electric shock or that kind of. It's just a silent, small, invisible line that this is where it ends. You can't talk to me like this anymore. I'm not available for this anymore. So it's just a subtle way we say we protect our space and maintain our mental health, if I should use that word. Yes. So another way you learn with boundary, another thing you need to learn with boundary is saying no. Saying no. This word no is a complete statement. If I tell you no, it's a complete statement. I don't need to add all the explanation of my life to make it work. you know. So no is no. Learn to say no without apology, without feeling guilty. Because why are we talking about boundary? We talked about you are not, when they tell you as a child that you are not good enough. So you want to prove that you're a perfect person. You want to prove that you can help everybody, you can do everything. There's no boundary. You don't know when to say no. So saying no is one way you protect yourself. It's one way it's not really selfish. So it's not a selfish life. If it's not working, it's not working. So for instance, we find out that people do all sorts of things. They go and you imagine you borrow money to go and buy an ashebi. Like, is it necessary? So you don't have the money for that particular event. Can't you just say, no, I don't think I can afford it at this time? So we really must learn to say no. And sometimes we are stuck with, but it's my childhood friend. Yeah, I cannot tell her. No, you just have to say it either way. It is not convenient means it's not convenient. So we must learn to set boundaries. So we find out that even Jesus in his life even set boundaries. Once in a while, he will leave the disciples and go to a secret place. Yes, so he leaves his disciple, he goes to a secret place. That's his boundary. At least he needs his own space to refill himself. You cannot be in the crowd at all time. You need your space. So it's for me that is an expression of boundary Jesus did. So boundary is also very, very key for us to protect and onboarding. So we don't keep hearing the same words, being in the same space, but there's a wisdom you must attach with setting boundaries so you don't what's the word now, you don't offend people unknowingly. So you must do it tactically. So boundary is like when the scripture say, "Be wise as a serpent and be harmless like a dove." So be wise, yet you are harmless. So if it's not convenient, it's not convenient. If you can't do it, you can't do it. Don't overstress yourself where you are not happy. The other person is, if the other person may be happy, but you are not happy, which may not be too good. And before you know, this is where you now do things with grumbling, not with your whole heart. Another way is forgiveness. So we're looking at the way you unburden, the way you drop the burden, the pain of the past that your family background has dumped on you. So you need to release forgiveness. This part of forgiveness, I have seen many times how it has it has deprived a whole generation of their blessing. For instance, your parents did something to you and you see yourself struggling to forgive. You said, no, I'm not going. No, no, no. You struggle, you don't. When scripture says, honor your father and your mother, is in the Lord. And forgiveness is also part of the Lord's commandments. Forgive on others as God has forgiven you. So if you don't forgive your parents, you will grow up not having the blessing. And forgiveness is, have you ever said you want to release somebody from prison? You carry the key, you open the prison door, only to realize that you were the prisoner. So most times, we are the one that are actually in prison, not the person that offends us. So that is why release yourself. So unforgiveness is I want to take poison. I'm taking poison to myself and I'm expecting you to die. That is what unforgiveness is. Why should you take poison and you're expecting the other person to die? No. So you must release forgiveness so there can be healing. So forgiveness is, Jesus said, Father, forgive them for they don't know what they are doing. It's just a way of freeing your mind. So the devil does not give you that burden. And of course, you need to reframe the narrative. Stop accepting the fact that is how my family, that is just how it is in my family. In my family, they don't get to 40 years, or when it's 40 years, they all dead, they die. In my family, asthma is the order of the day. In my family, anger. In my family, women don't stay in marriage. In my family, you need to reframe the narrative. You need to change the storyline. You need to change the narrative. Say, no, it ends here. You know, when you know one thing, the way I view boundary also is my own way of telling the devil that yes, you did it in this generation, you did it in another generation, you did it in another generation, but in my generation, it ends here. I'm here to change the narrative. You know, so you must reframe the narrative. Hmm? Trauma is not your identity. It's not your reality. It is what God says you are. It's who God says you are. You know, your history is not your destiny. The fact that it happens to you does not mean you have to be there. You know, I did a post on YouTube saying you may be born, you were born looking like your parents. They gave birth to you, right? You saw all the things that happened and it impacted on you, but it is your choice. You will die looking like your choice or your decision. That means it comes to a point where you have to decide the order of your life. That no, this is the pattern, this is the way I want my life to go. So that is reframing the narrative, reframing it. So you cannot die and say, hey, all the blame is to your parents. They didn't provide me with this. They didn't send me to school. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. And the way it has affected us is we now become very ungrateful. Even the good things that God has done for you, you can't even see them anymore. I know this God is so perfect that even what there's a way it satisfies everybody. Whatever you think you don't have, there is something he has also given to you that he has not given, that he didn't give to this person. So, but that unforgiveness will keep you stuck. We make you feel the unforgiveness will make you feel like nothing has really happened. You will still be referring to that bitterness, that thing that has happened in the past, you know. So it will stuck you, you will be stuck. So you need to end it and change the narrative. You are the owner of your life. You are the custodian of your life. You must tell yourself, I am changing the narrative. It's not going to continue this way. So you need to start affirming the truth. I am worthy of love. I'm worthy of respect. My story can bring healing to others. That's the way you reframe the narrative, you know. And one thing I know is God does not waste pain. He does not waste. There's no part of the experience in your life that is a waste. You must not sit back and ask yourself, how do I, and so thing has happened to me. How do I convert it? That it will become a blessing to generation and it will glorify God. So you must sit back and reframe the narrative. So you can't stay there, you can't be there for life. You need to change it. Rewrite your family patterns. You have to rewrite your family patterns and raising a new generation of wholeness. Look at your children. Don't say, this is how your grandfather was. The way I'm seeing you now. No. Tell yourself, I'm raising a new generation. The blood of Jesus is what flows in me, not that pattern. You know. See, I tell people if Abraham can do something that will make God to bless him generational, to give him transgenerational blessing, you know. So it's possible. It's possible. You can't change it. You can't change it. Mind you, Abraham's father, idolatry was a pattern in their family. They were serving other gods. But God called Abraham out and Abraham responded. And look at how today we can now even stay and say, I am a child of Abraham. Abraham's blessings are mine. How did we get there? A simple act of obedience. He acknowledged and he knows that no, I'm going to rewrite the story. You know, so we must come to that point where we say no, it's not going to end. The pattern ends here and I'm going to rewrite the story. And of course you need to practice self-care, learn to take care of yourself. Yes, you deserve care, you deserve love, you deserve everything that you know you did not have as a childhood. Start giving it to in your childhood. Start passing it on to yourself. Don't leave yourself like that. For instance, we saw in the life of Elijah in the Bible how that at a time he became so weary and he felt he was the only one. And God said, no, you're not the only one. What did God do? God came, sent the angel to bring him food allowed him to eat, and he even told him, he said, eat, because the journey is far. Eat and sleep, rest. Some of us, we just feel, especially the fixer kind of children, when you are the one fixing everybody's problem, they train you, you are the senior one, they train you so that you can train the others. See burden. So they train you so you can, you end up feeling like you don't deserve rest. Even when there is rest, you say no. They will say, let's go for holiday. You say no. In fact, the money we want to use to take me for holiday, bring the money. You just feel you don't deserve rest. You don't deserve care. If God could even rest on the seventh day, who are you not to rest? So we need to prioritize our own self-care. So by eating well, sleep well, hydrate well. You see this thing called water. Eh? Some of us will say, the situation of the country now, things are very hard, but water is everywhere now. As simple as water. Drink water. It is abundant. So it is in abundance. So take water, take care of yourself, stretch yourself, rest well, you know, reflect, practice gratitude, sing, worship, pray, meditate. These are the way, hear the word of God. These are the way you just refresh your mind, your spirit, your soul, your body. So self-care is very, very important for you to unburden that pain of the past. And lastly, I want to say that the way we go about it lastly is to you need to look for a safe place, a safe community, like this, where we are now, where you are hearing these things, where somebody say their own, and you're like, oh, so this even happened to you. I'm not alone, oh. So we need that community where we can share what happened to us and your challenge today might just be somebody, where someone else is coming from. So that's that environment where we talk to one another, we share ideas with one another is very, very important. So I just want to say thank you so much for listening. So I want to give you a challenge. These things you have saying now, I want you to go and practice them. Yes. So tell yourself, look at the mirror, tell yourself, I am not a mistake. You know, I am not a mistake. I am God's child. I am a child of God. I'm a friend of God. Begin to affirm to yourself those things your parents did not tell you. Tell yourself. Look at the mirror and declare it on yourself to yourself that this is who I am. And you can get a journal and write the things that you don't want to happen to you, the narrative you want to change. Get a journal and write it, that this and this and this is not happening to me. And of course, it's not by power, it's not by might, it is by the Spirit of God. I want to thank you so much for listening. If you have any comments, any question, any contribution, this is the time to hit it. Let's share our comment, question, and contribution. If you want to unmute to speak up, that's fine. If you want to drop it as a chat, it's also nice. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Are we together? So let's get your questions and your contributions. Questions, contribution, whatever you have to say on this topic, please feel free to share. Hello. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Shiwendu. Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah. So any questions, any contribution? So please, how does one deal with a manipulative father who is both verbally and physically abused, also abusing alcohol? You live in the same compound with this person. Hmm. Okay. Okay, so really, we cannot act more than we know, you know. That person is acting based on what he or she has been exposed to. So you say he's a manipulative father. Yes. So why is he manipulative? We've seen some cases where even a father will not even want a daughter to go, will not want to release a daughter for marriage at even when the child is at a marriageable age. That could be trauma. It could be the parents is afraid. You know, part of the reason why they say, especially in Africa, why they are afraid of female children, they feel if I give birth to female children is for female children. After all, when she grows up, she will go and marry, and I will just be. It's as if I'm a loser. I have lost. You know that kind of feeling. So, such a father with that kind of mentality, we end up becoming yes, with such a father, we end up becoming manipulative. So even when the child is at a marriageable age, you will do, first of all, you won't even see him ask you one day, how far now, anybody coming, and when you want to get married, you will see that he may not necessarily give you, he may not really give you the support. He may want to overstress you. That's manipulation. But it can't just tell you that this is my fear. This is what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that you may not care for me the way you used to. And that feeling that man has is coming from the things he has also experienced. So this is where we need to extend grace to others. That, oh, if you need to know that yes, this person is coming from a lot. I need to extend grace to you first, so we'll now see how we can walk this journey. So, and this person is also physically abusive. So that is the thing with the alcohol and the others. They are very intoxicating. They make you lose your self-control and other things that goes along with it. So it's traumatic. So this person is also physically abusive. So we need to, in that way, they will really need help and support. So this is where a safe one-on-one section will also be very important to deal with that, because it's not what you can just take alone. And you said the person live in the same compound. You really can't handle it on your own. You need that safe space. I also want to use this opportunity to say there is a room for one-on-one consultation. Yes, so in the Wholesome Family Solution, we are here to listen to your story, especially if it's your personal story. Yes, we are here to listen to it and help you walk the journey. So there's room for one-on-one consultation. If you have anything that is bothering, that is so, like we said, share it in a safe space. We are here to listen to you with that. So such manipulative father, like we said, okay, this is where you naturally feel for teenagers who this in this case now you can't just leave. He's still your father, but you need to speak up. Sometimes it just takes someone to speak to the person to settle it, instead of you dying in that state, and absorbing all the trauma. You need to speak up to a confidant, someone that can help you walk that journey. So how do you heal when one has been stigmatized? Yes, this is why I say it's really an issue. And this is where you have to promise yourself that I'm going to be someone that can be a confidant. Yes, because somebody tell you something and it's all over, and the person is telling you something and you are interpreting it in a million ways. You've given different dimensions of that story. So stigmatization is something that is really real, that makes people, that further, despite their family trauma, now further make people not want to say anything, because they feel people, this is what they would do to me. They will shame me. But I want to tell you, and there is no need to be ashamed. Let me use the instance of the woman at the well. After Jesus told her that go and call your husband, she went, she told Jesus, actually, I don't have a husband. Jesus said, correct, correct woman. You just said the truth. He said, Jesus said, I know even the man you have at home now, he's still not your husband now. She said, He said, how did you know? He said, So he said, I know you have met. And so the woman was surprised that who is this man that is telling me things about myself. So sometimes you really may know things about the person, but you can't just tell it. It's not in your position to go and tell everybody. So in as much as we are saying how should we should also make it as a challenge that I may be a confidant, somebody that somebody can also confide in. So this woman she was the one that ran out to tell people, say, come and see what a man told me. A man that told me everything that I've ever been. Do you know that just that singular act of that woman telling a story, do you know how many persons that got changed, they came to see for themselves, and when they came, they say, yes, beyond what you have told us, we have seen for ourselves, and those people were saved. So I don't want us to be shy, don't allow the devil put you in a box where you feel, I'm not going to say it. You will just die in that silence. Like this issue of physical abuse, you are keeping it to yourself, you will die in silence. You need to speak up. You need to speak up. So in that case, you need to speak up. So stigmatization, I would say it comes to a point where you have to tell you, see, one thing in life is people must say. You do the right thing, no, people will say. Even Jesus, when he came now, they say many manner of things about him. Hey, you are the devil. They even call him devil. But know that people will always talk. Just do what you know is right for you to do. For me, that's the only way you can survive this world. Because people will always say, you do the right thing, they will still say. Now, how much more when you have done the wrong thing? So you need to look for a way to block your ears from what people say and keep doing what is right. There's a way you live your life. That is why I say, it should motivate you to dare to change the narrative. That if I not tell you that this was what I've done before, you can't even relate my past and my life now. So it should motivate you to want to, it should motivate you to say, okay, this thing that you people are accusing me of, check me out in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year, in the next, the same mouth you used to stigmatize me, the same mouth you will use to praise me. I don't know if it's making sense. So don't be stuck there, because if I tell you people will not talk, I may just be trying to be funny. So I may just trying to water it down. No, people will always talk. So don't allow the stigmatization of. The main thing is, what does God think about me? Yes. God says I'm a new creation. And the accuser of brethren is using people to remind me of who I was. Who do you believe? That's what the Bible says. Which report will you believe? You are a new creation. So you stand on that reality that, yes, I'm a new creation in Christ. I am not my past anymore. And you begin to walk that life so much so that when they look at where you are coming from and where you are now, they will just say, I beg. After all, nothing happened. So it should challenge you to bring out the best in you. I hope that's a help. But if it's something that is very, very private and personal, you can reach out and we talk that. Okay, thank you so much. How do we honor abusive parents who use Bible to say you should obey? That is manipulation now. You're abusing the child and telling the child, you must obey me. So, the book of Ephesians also addressed that come, don't frustrate these children, in as much as Bible have said, children, obey your parents in the Lord. So, which is also, for me, is a challenge to me. When I'm telling my child, obey, what am I manipulating the child? So disobedience, it's take it as a command, take it as an instruction. And you cannot obey if you have not forgiven. That is the place of forgiveness. Jesus on the cross said, forgive them, they don't know what they are doing. Just, just like we're discussing now, trauma. That person, that father that is dealing with you like this, he is also traumatized. So you should not say this person, he does not have much knowledge. Excuse the person so that you can be in a position to forgive, but you also need to create some certain boundaries in a way where the person will know that, yes, you can. So boundaries could just be as simple as, I don't like the way you talk to me like this. The person may shout, but at least the message he has gotten is that, even this child, is even bold to tell me he does not like, so you are bold to tell me, yes, but I've told you, I don't like it. So we should be bold enough to speak for ourselves, say what you don't like. So, but that honor that this is my father, please, this honor is for your own blessing. I have seen it play out where children are even angry with their parents, even with their late parents. The parents are dead, yet if you see the bitter words they will speak about their parents, it's terrible. So you must release yourself, because that's the way the devil is robbing a whole generation. Now we find out that even youths are dying early. Bible say, honor your father and your mother so that your days will be long. So that your days will be long. So don't allow the enemy trap you to want to dishonor your parents. Honor them either way, but look for a way to create that boundaries. Look for a way to communicate how you feel. So an abusive parent. So it's I want to say, that such a person is not, you are not alone. It is a trend. And that is why we are here to change the narrative. So the thing is, whatever you have gone through as a child, that you feel the bitterness and the pain, you are feeling it now. It should also be with that same passion. You say, oh, my children, the way I will raise my children, it is such a way that they will not go through the things I went through. And in that way, we've ended the pattern. So it should be a motivation to you to also do that. So honor them either way, but maintain your boundaries. So that honor, when the Bible says honor your parents, it is in the Lord. It is abusive for a father to be sleeping with the daughter. So there's no honor there to say, after our Bible say, I should honor my parents. No, that's not what we're saying here. That's not what we're saying here. So if it's a sexual abuse or a kind of abuse that is not, you need to speak up. Yes, don't. So whatever we're saying, honor. For instance, your father wants you to help him with buying something outside. You can't say because he's not behaving well, you will not buy that thing. So God, you are disobedient and you are robbing yourself of your blessing. But that your father is asking you to go and engage in prostitution to bring money, that one you cannot honor him. So that's why I say this is boundary now. Boundary is, I will not go against my principle, or I will not go against my value, the values that I have that is holding me. Your values is what makes you. So your value, especially if you are a child of God, you know the values that you are living by. So nothing will push you to go against that value just because you want to please somebody. So not even your parents. So things like engaging you in prostitution because they need money in the house, they need money in the home. It's not, you are not honoring them, you are dishonoring your body, and you will get your reward for it. So God will not only fault your parents. That's why I use the word that you were born looking like your parents, but you will die looking like your decision. You have a role to play. So your honoring your parents does not involve honoring them to counter the principles and the values that is keeping you as a child. Yeah, so I don't know if I answer your question, and if you need to talk more, I am here for you. Next is okay. I grew up with a father that is too strict. It affected my self-esteem. How do I heal? I am the first child. My God, this is real. This is real, and this is everywhere. Most persons, there's something they call the father wound. Mr. Joshua Ogbaneme is a coach in that aspect. There's something called the father wound. The fathers have actually there's there's this the trust that a child is supposed to have for a father. Most parents have actually they've lost it. They've lost it. All in the name of that same cultural thing that is discipline. They will not hide under the word, I want to discipline you. It's subtle manipulation. Or they keep telling you wrong words and, like you said, self-esteem. But you must rise to a point. So you see me, for me, the way it works for me is I don't stay in an environment I'm not celebrated, I'm not needed. I notice it, I move because I need to hear the right word. So your father is doing that to you. Go and engage in other places where you can hear the right word. First of all, establish your relationship with God. Have you read the Bible and you've seen what God said about you? Go and look at 1 Peter 2 verse 9. You are a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people. This is God's love letter to you. This is who you are. And like I said, is the one whom God commends. This is what God is telling you. So which report will you believe? Is it the one that is telling you you are not good enough, you are nothing good can come out from you, you know? So you don't believe that. Believe what God. So that's why your relationship with God is very key. So if anybody is telling you anything, you ask yourself, what does God says about me? What does the Bible says about me? Who am I? So you must define your own identity first. Then two is now look for a space. Like we said, that this space could be a church gathering, it could be a mentor, it could be anybody where you keep hearing the right word, hear those things that charge you up to want to make you feel like yes, there's still life to live. I usually say, why should you die when you can live? You can actually live. Don't die when you can live. So look for a space. That is not the only space that you have. Look for a space where you can get your healing. Very important. So connect to the right one. Listen to messages. Just whether you are cooking or you are doing anything, keep hearing. The Bible says faith comments by hearing. You need to nullify those things, those negative words that you have said that have drained your esteem, your self-esteem. You need to now use the right words to counter it. So what you hear matters a lot. Gradually detach from that unsafe environment and, of course, start hearing the right words. So your healing, it's solely your responsibility. Nobody will come and do that for you. First of all, you have to forgive. You have to start setting boundaries. Then you now start looking for the right space, the right people, the right environment that can help you grow. Yes, so I, for one, have also told people things that has affected me. Yes, I'm saying it so I can heal. Yes, so why keep it to yourself? Look for safe space where you can say, this is what I'm going through, and I think I need help. So it's and of course you say you are the first child. So one thing I want you to look at for being the first child is this the fixer. The first child most times is being compared to fix everything. Especially in Africa, we say, I'm training you so that you will train your younger ones. And your younger ones, maybe they are 6. You will get married, burdens everywhere. Burden everywhere. So look out for it. It doesn't mean you don't have to help, but still know where you need to also draw the line. So the first child, there's something called the first child syndrome. We'll do a we'll do a talk on that. There's so much expectation that we place, the expectation is so high that we place on the first child, as if being a first child is a crime. You are the one to, they not even expect you to teach the younger ones morals, moral that they are supposed to instill. They expect so many expectations for just being the first child. So it can really be a lot. And if it's something you want to talk about on a personal level, I am here for you. What can a parent do that is dealing with self-willed teenager who are strong-willed and mostly disobedient to the point where she abuses and lay curses on them, considering the fact that their dad abandoned them and she's suffering alone to raise them, yet they feel entitled and ungrateful. This one is huge. You know, I've always believed that parenting should not be done alone. We need each other in this job. I have a 3-year-old son. You can't match my son's energy. Is the, is energetic, highly energetic. But that energy, do you know, you as a woman, you really can't take all those energy. You need a man to help. So I've seen something also playing out. Thank God we're talking about trauma now. I've seen something playing out in the society where I'm not trying to water down your pain or what you feel. There's something that's happening now where widows are just going through a whole lot because the society has made you think if I get married, they will say, hey, after all, I don't like the man before, or I was a prostitute, or I was the one that killed him. You will now end up going through parenting alone, single-handedly. And these children, they will live their life and they will go and get married. You are now old. You and ask yourself, what did I really do with my time? What did I really do with my life? And before you know, because of that frustration, you want to vent it on your children. This is where you will be feeling, you will not be feeling entitled. Why didn't you come and see me? Do you know how much I took to take care of you people? Do you know entitlements have started setting in? So please don't do the journey of parenting alone. So while your husband is alive, for those of us that have husband, you have wife, take care of that person while the person is alive. Because most times, sometimes some persons will not get married because they feel you feel the way you dealt with a man. You know, Bible say a virtuous woman, you will do your husband good all the days of your life. Do that man good. If peradventure anything happen, right? If anything happens, and you, of course, you are not the one that orchestrated it. Things happen, life happens. But you get to a point where you need to move on. Yes. And aside that, I want to say that if, for instance, you even don't want to, you don't really feel like it could be a personal consecration. For instance, there's Anna in the Bible that was a widow and she stayed serving the Lord, praying in the house of God. It could just be a personal consecration. God say, I need you, or just God, you just know that this is the direction God is leading me. Beautiful. But to do it so that you want to prove to the society that I raise these children alone, only me, I single-handedly, you will, you will just drain yourself. And it's at old age you will not discover that you really did not even live it. You did not live your own life. You were living life for your children. You were just doing my children, my children. So do your husband good, do your wife good while they are alive. If anything happens, look for a support. So if that consecration is what you are hinging on, that I just feel I need to, I at this stage I don't think I really need to do much about that. Then you need to look for a mentor. You need to look for a father figure, that's the word, to care for that child. Like I told you now, my son has energy. Sometimes I will say, Joshua, woman now, Joshua, when my husband will come, Joshua, he will, so we need that balance. Yes, we need that balance. So if you can't get it for one reason or the other, your spouse is no more there, look for it by all means, just look for it. In the church, look for a father figure. The Catholic, they call it is my, how do they call it? There's a name they normally call it. If you know it, please drop it on the page. Is my is it spiritual father? Is my if I've lost touch with that name. There's a way the Catholic call it, that is that. Yes, yes, it's my godfather. That's the word. Is my godfather. They put those things to give a balance, to at least, because that boy child. Now another effect of this thing is, if a woman raise a child alone, have you seen boys that are boys in body, but inside they are women? They can't think. They can't. They are being they've been feminized, even though they are carrying the body of a man, because it was a woman alone that raised them. So we need that balance. See that God is perfect. The Bible says from the beginning, God made them male and female. You cannot change that order. You can't say, let me take care of him, let me take care of her. After all, no, 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 no. Don't do life alone. So look for someone. If you know you have a consecration, God is calling you to consecrate yourself, not to get married again, then by all means, please look for someone to care for that child, either a mentor or whatever. So because why? The effect is when you are the only one talking, you talk today, you talk. This is where I will also encourage us. Please take your children to church. Take them to conferences, take them to a place where they can hear the right word, so that when they get to an environment, they are hearing the things you have been telling them. There's a way it's sync. Take them to camp. This is holiday now. This is August. Many camp meetings, conferences, many things, especially this long holiday, August to September, is usually very long. Take your children out. That's don't steal, or don't tell lies, or don't follow that man. You will just take your child there and somebody will just be saying the same thing that you have been saying. There is a way it settles in the mind of the child that, oh, the child will just be like, this one is just talking like my mommy. It's talking like my mommy. Okay, I know. So, but my mommy said it too. The child may not just know unconsciously that, yes, something is coming in, that, okay, it could be that what my mommy is saying is true. Just that encounter can soften the stubbornness of that child. So don't put your child in the house. You will scream and scream and scream. What other atmosphere are you exposing your child to, so that they can hear the right words? So this thing called disobedience, you can't say everything. You need the support of people. In Africa, there you will say, they will say, your son. we live a we live a community life where, if your son misbehave, I would have mended him. Like, they would have helped you arrange your son, and they will still come and tell you that, come, your son misbehaved, and this is what I did to your son, without offense. But now we now want to do everything. We now even have a way where we say, don't talk to my son like that, don't do this. You can't do it on your own. Sometimes your neighbors, they will see a particular display, a particular attitude. They are coming to tell you that, look at what your son did. You say, no, it's not my son, but you will face it. So don't try to hide especially when others are trying to come in. You are trying to, let me protect him, let me protect him. You will still be the one to do the job. If you don't do it now, you will do it later. So disobedience, when it comes to disobedience in a child, another way to approach is children don't like it when you say, do what I say, but don't do what I do. So that thing you are telling them to do, are you doing it? So it's a checklist you need to check. okay, this thing I've been telling this child, am I doing it? So that is why as parents, God helping us, we need to live our life in a sense where we will have we will have the morals to actually talk to our children, knowing that they've seen you behave in that same, like there's a way they accept it and say, okay, I think I think this is the life mommy is living or daddy is living. So it shouldn't be do what I say, don't do what I do. Daddy is taking alcohol. He say, hey, this alcohol you see me, I'm taking, don't take it, oh, don't take it, oh, hey, don't take it, oh you know. Uh, hey, you see me? I'm smoking. Don't smoke. Oh, smoking is not good though. You are just deceiving yourself now. So we get to that point where we, that's why it's called intentional parenting. You intentionally parent your children, you know. Apostle Paul said, if meat will make my brother to sin, I rather not eat meat. Sometimes as parents, there are things you will deprive yourself of because you do not because they are sin, but because these children are watching. And the way they will interpret it with their age, it may not really go well. So you just need to look for a balance. I think I've said so many aspects to this disobedience. First of all, check your end. Number two, you need support. You need support. You can't do life alone because now I can see that you are feeling overwhelmed. The abandonment of their dad has already overwhelmed. In fact, this person, you need help. If there's any way you can personally reach out, I will appreciate it. You truly need help because the fact that the father has abandoned you, you are traumatized already. You are traumatized already. You can't even parent from the place of love because there's something in you that is not, you are not happy, you are not a happy parent. Yes, so please, you need to personally reach out if you if you want to. I will appreciate that. So is everyone traumatized in one way or the other? Yes, it's for you to answer. And that is why the place of self-reflection matters a lot. In philosophy and logic, they will say, to yourself, be true. Don't deceive yourself. Ask yourself. Okay, so for instance, let me share my own little part of my story to tell you how subtly I was traumatized. So, my father, growing up as a child, always tell me, go to school, go to school. He would give me instances of people that did not go to school, what happened to them, how, and of course, we know that education is a thing, as beautiful as education, but the emphasis of school was so much that I had to promise myself that, yes, this school, I go reach the end of the school and I will come back, like I will go, I will finish, that's something was already in me. So growing up, as I finished secondary school, I was in College of Education. I was just about 15, 16, and and uh one guy was coming, the guy was just coming. I could not even give that guy space to even hear what he has to say. I was just running as if, look at Destiny Killer. The one that killed Destiny is coming. Oh, this school, I go finish. You see, sometimes because our parents, they were not opportune for some reason or the other, they didn't go to school, they can transfer that trauma to you. They say the school when I not go, my pikin will go. Beautiful. It's good. Education is good. I'm not downplaying education. But don't do it from a place of from a place where you are no longer living a balanced life. All you are thinking is school, nothing else but school. Do you know there are many sides? You can do school. While you are doing school, you can do a business. You can do marriage alongside. So that closed mind, and that's the word. Your mind will just be closed. Oh, school. I will finish school. So it could be that's a trauma that has been transferred. And really, I finished the school. I made my father proud. My father said, this school, they said another goes to my picking don't go. But can I tell you that my mind was so closed that even getting married, I didn't get married. I wouldn't say, we always say God's time is the best. But do you know that you're supposed to prep your children from 18 years, 21 years, you're supposed to prep them for marriage? Yes. It's another way. We just leave everything to chance. Whatever will be, will be. Whatever will not be, will be. You prep your children. The child is growing, is a teenager, no preparation, no nothing, child, no nothing. You are going there. So so getting married. I wouldn't say it was late, but I didn't feel I could do these things side by side. You can actually get married, you can go to school, you can do business, you can live your life, So, but me, I was just doing school church. That was just the school church. So, but thank God for grace. So, I'm just saying that this thing called trauma, look deeply, look deeply and see where that thing that you saw somehow is affecting your home. That character, that parents that are always at loggerhead, you are absorbing something. It's like a sponge. You are absorbing. You are absorbing. When you are now in your home, you cannot help but display such attitude. So, in terms of who is traumatized or not, it is for you to sit back and ask yourself, what happened to me? The way I'm living now is that, especially when people are another way you also approach it is when people are identifying what is wrong, a particular character, a particular habit that is wrong. Don't shield it. Don't say, I beg, that's just the way I am. That's just the way. No, look into it. That's okay. Or don't say they're always criticizing me. No, they can help you to expose your trauma. Look into it and say, okay, what happened to me? Where did I get it wrong? How can I improve from here? Yeah, so I believe that helps. How do one-on-one session work, and are they paid for? Yes. Yes, I will drop it on the platform. Yes, so you will see, I will drop the whole details on the platform. So that's it. Any other question, any other contribution? I want to call it up now. It's been a long time, and I hope you've gotten value for staying through. Let me see your emoji. If it's worth the time, if it's worth it, just hit it. Let me see you. Yeah, so thank you so much. If there anybody that wants to say anything, thank you so much. It's been a wonderful time. I am highly delighted to have you here. Thank you so much, everyone. Oh, thank you for the likes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we're going to do this tomorrow. Yeah, so we're going to do this tomorrow. We'll continue from here. We'll continue tomorrow, but in another deeper dimension. Yes, so it gets deeper by the day. So what this program ends on Wednesday. Yeah, so but same time tomorrow, 4 p.m. we hit it again, and then let's trust God for healing. And like I said, this healing is not by your own power. You need to invite God into it and say, God, help me. The Bible says, anyone who call on the name of the Lord will be saved. When you dare to call on God, yes, you will surely be saved. So invite God into that situation. Talk to people with same mind, people that can help you. And I believe by God's grace, healing has already started taking place. For me, the Bible said that when Jesus preached, as he was preaching, he said he accomplished his word with healing, miracles, signs, and wonders. It was just as they listened, they were healed. So I know the healing is taking place already by the grace of God. So I just trust God for your life, and I hope we have been blessed. Thank you so much. I don't know if we can turn on our videos, or is it possible to turn on your videos? Let's just do a group. Let's just take some group pictures. Are we okay? Okay, so let me just take the attendance in a way. So if you have any question, or if there's any area you want us to touch on, if there's any area you want us to touch on, please just let us know the particular topic, any section you want us to deal with, that is that you want us to address. Yeah, so that would be highly welcome. Thank you so much. You can now unmute yourself and say your bye as we go. Thank you, everyone. God bless you.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Vivian Eze. Thank you, Dr. Sambo. Thank you, Eno Ebon.
Thank you, Ma.
Thank you, Gift Azuka.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really
God bless you.
Thank you, Ma.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye. Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.